Can you see video properly? Hello.
Mama.
Video clear da anna?
Video nana clear.
Sound anna varada? Sound varadillaya anna?
Sound varadu.
Okay. Okay, so நமக்கு இந்த இப்போ இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் வந்து நமக்கு எல்லா கிளாஸ்ல உள்ளதா இருக்கிறனால நம்ம இப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம். நான் வந்து நம்ம ட்ரஸ்டில் உள்ள ஸ்ரீ ராஜகோபால் ஒரு இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷனுக்கு வர சொல்லியிருந்தேன். பட் அவர் இப்போ நம்ம எல்லாருமே கிளாஸ்ல உள்ளதான் இருக்கா. those who are regular in the class, there is no new people who have joined, so we will directly start the session. Okay.
Okay, fine.
And since this has been that this session will be in English, I will do this session in English. Okay. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. We are starting now. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Narayana Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama. Asmad Acharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parampara. First of all, I am not so fluent in English. Though I have taken many classes in English. Being a faculty, I have worked in DCM Vagaman for this software technology, that is for the system analysis and design. So those classes we can take easily in English because most of the words used are all technical and all. We have to use the book and teach. So that might not be a problem, will not be a challenge. But having a session for these kind of things, especially for our Shastra, for Shodash Samskara, so for that you need a more deeper vocabulary knowledge and all. So I am not that kind of a versatile person in English, but let me try my level best to have this session in English. Something I can't still express, I may sometimes tell in Tamil also, because I don't know whether I will get words for everything. Because if we talk something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we can prepare and talk. But when we give a longer session, it is difficult to prepare everything in a specific language and give a talk. Otherwise, we have to write everything and give a speech. That's also a little bit difficult for me. So I will try my best to make everything in English. Maybe this will be a kind of test for myself also, to what extent the talk in English will be effective and will be able to express everything as I want. So before coming into Shodasha Samskara, what we have to keep it in the mind is that there are many acharyas, many panditas who have given many talks about Shodasha Samskara. This is not the first talk, or I am not a pandita of that level. Why we are going to have the class for Shodasha Samskara is that every Laukika of Hindu community, especially the Brahmin community, should understand this, why this is being done, what is its importance, whether this is really important. After analyzing, still we felt that this is not required. We don't have to follow, at least. But what is happening nowadays, the rituals are followed without any seriousness. Simply from Jadakarma to Andishti, many things our community do without knowing its importance, being the language in English, many people, language in Sanskrit, many people doesn't know what the mantra is saying or what the sankalpa is saying or what the words that is included, what the lines, words, everything which is included in that particular karma, nobody understands. If you go to a marriage of another religion, maybe to the Christian or Muslim, you can see the ritual will be in the language of that particular area, or maybe the local language will be used. If you come to Kerala, if you go to the church for a marriage, or if you go to the mosque for a marriage, everything will be told in the local language only. So at least people will understand what is being done, what is being followed and all. But our language being Sanskrit, we doesn't know what is happening and all. So many people simply doing it as a rituals. Many people are even not serious about it. Just since our what you call forefathers done this, my father done this, let me finish this. Like that, many people are thinking. So we should know what the samskara is, why the Shodasa samskara is done, what is its importance in current period, in the current state of our society, what is its importance. That first we have to analyze before going into the samskara. That is why I thought of making an introductory session so that the people may come attend it, and then we'll have a thought process about it, and then seriously think that we have to implement it in our family, in our community. We have to spread it to our friends and make this happen in a serious way as prescribed by Shastra. But now also around 130 people have what we call fill the form and all. Maybe very minimal number of people joined. I don't know what is the current status, how many participants have joined. Around 12 are there, I think. So it's very less in number. Maybe the evening session in being in Tamil, maybe we can expect more people to join. So before coming into the Shodasa samskara, if we take in English, samskara means, we can say, culture. It's a culture. And in a broader sense, the culture gives us a civilization. From the culture only the civilization is coming. So Indus Valley civilization, well known in the world, how the people on the banks of Ganges or Sindhu Nadi Tira Samskara, on the banks of Ganges, on the banks of the Sindhu Nadi, how the people lived, what was the way of their life. That we call as the Indus Valley civilization, which is very famous. Because those English people like Keith and all, who came and studied our samskara, in the end they said, if I get another janma, I should born as a Hindu, or I should born as even a Brahmin. That is the conclusion of the English people who studied our samskara. So there is great importance of our samskara, our culture, our civilization. But what happens if we go back to 1835, when Macaulay was sent to India to destroy our culture? Because backbone of our culture is our education, our Vedic education. That was the backbone of our samskara. So if the education, the backbone, the Vedic education, the Vedic education, our culture is destroyed, then easily the English people will be able to take us as they want. They can turn our minds in the way they like. So that is why the Macaulay was sent. That is what we can understand from history. Even he was offered 50,000 USD. That is what we can read from the history and all, to destroy the culture. More or less, we can't say he was 100% successful, because still the culture exists. But to a larger extent, he was able to destroy it. If you go back to 1835, there were around, say, 13,000 Gurukulas in India, where the Veda was taught, or Shastras were taught, metallurgy, like the sciences, were taught. So we were very advanced in science, in Shastra and everything. We call it Vidya Pida, because what the knowledge our rishis taught us was the knowledge to have, to attain the ultimate objective of the human life. That is how our education system was. That is why it is called Vidya. It is not Shiksha. The learning of the what you call the skills required for your livelihood, to making money, to lead a what you call a successful material life. We can call it Shiksha. But we call it Vidya because the ultimate purpose of the human life is to have moksha. So the knowledge which is needed to attain moksha, that is called Vidya. The knowledge, if you attain that, there is nothing more than that. That one is the complete knowledge. That is the Vidya. That is why we call still Vidyabhyasa. Vidya means the ultimate knowledge. The objective of the human life, what to attain, the end of the human life or the purpose of the human life, that knowledge is called Vidya. That is what been taught by our Puruviyas. But English people came, to larger extent, they destroyed our culture. They stopped all our what you call the gurukulas, padashalas, everything, by brainstorming, even by force, by many ways they have stopped it. And even the strong Vaidika community was able to cut their what you call the shikha, the kudimi, the craft. They cut it, and they were able to go and study the English education. So the purpose of the English education is to understand about the world, how the business works, how the economy works. It is totally focused on a material life. There is nothing more than that. How to lead a life where you can comfortably make money and then lead a what you call prosperous material life, and finally attain that. There is nothing more than that in their education. So the purpose of the education was to go to a profession and handle it successfully, make money out of that, do the things required to attain the material success, material prosperity, enjoy maximum prosperity in life, get married, that also to a, if possible, get a lady or get a man from a rich community, get married and enjoy the life. And this was how the English education is. Of course, there are scientific research, everything is going on, but nothing related to Atman or spirituality or the purpose of the life. What the Shastra says, their education doesn't take us anywhere near to what our Vedas says or Vedas taught. So automatically the community begin to follow that. So we also selected the modern education. When the 900 came, that is till 1947, slowly the Vaidika system slowly got disappeared. After 1947, almost 90 to 95% of the Vaidika system of education, our 14 Vidyasthanas, all got disappeared. Only some Veda Padashalas, only the Veda was taught. Very little Shastra was taught. The only positive thing which remained was that the Veda Padhanam continued. Still it is continuing. In Veda Padashala also only the Vedas are taught. Nothing about the Shastras or Sanskrit education, regarding the Smriti, regarding the Veda Bhashyam. These are all very, very minimal, very minimum people studies. So this is how the education system goes. And now let us come to our community, the present scenario. What is happening in our community in the present scenario? Let us start analyzing from the births. Okay, if we take the births, till 100 years back, the births happened in the house itself. There is a room called Sudika room, where the birth will happen. During the menstrual period and all, the lady remained in the Sudaka Graham. So in Agraharams also, we call it Edanadi, where the delivery used to happen. Some expert who knows the delivery will come and the delivery will happen so easily. That is what I used to, what I understood from the Purvikas. There was no difficulty in delivery and all. It happened so naturally without much pain and all. But slowly what happened, it has gone into the hospitals because it has, the gynecology became a main subject in the medical science. So the day on which the pregnancy happens, immediately they will be taken to the hospital and will be under the control of the gynecologist. So the medicines will be given. So all the growth of that baby happens by the guidance of the gynecologist. So what happens? They prescribe the minimum weight, like minimum the child should be 3 kg above that, something like that, and even the child is underweight as per their what you call standards, they will give extra proteins, medicines, everything to attain the weight. So, but as per our Shastra, it's nothing like that. The weight depends on the body nature of the mother and so many other factors. So even if the weight is lesser, the baby will be very healthy. And after the childbirth happens, the breast milk will be fed to the child and child will get a very good health. Even if it is little bit weaker on the delivery, the children will become healthy in due course of taking that breast milk. But nowadays what happens, by increasing the weight of the baby as per the standards and all, finally all pregnancy, all the delivery ends in the cesarean. Even I think 50% of normal delivery happens nowadays, or even less. I don't know exact percentage, but the cesarean is increasing day by day. That I know very well. So everything have become a complex process. You need the simple process which happens natural by the what you call the research of science and by the fear mechanism, because 1 in 1,000 got some illness. So that 1% of problem is being spread among the community, and see everyone, see in everyone that problem may come and take precaution. That is where the modern science space, in my understanding. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but something happens happens to 1 in 1,000. We cannot generalize that. So expecting that problem, the 999 who are normal, they are making abnormal by giving medicine and so for having delivery in hospital, we need lot of money. Everything is now related to money. So the entire life we want to spend for making money only. Because for simpler thing, even for drinking water, we need money. We have to pay money and get the water. So everything to run a padashale, to run a class, everything without money, nothing happen, because the life has changed like that. Very simple things which happens without money or even with a very little expenses, we have taken to a level where we have to spend a lot for that. One of the example is the delivery. So delivery happens in the hospital, can't do jadakarma kind of things, which we will come to that point again. So we have, because of our modern education, modern thinking, we have, see, there are 60,000 kind of living beings in the world, animals, birds. Nothing goes to hospital for delivery. Every delivery happens naturally. No doctor is coming. Only human beings being admitted in the hospital for so many days. Every month the scanning is done. Now the scanning will become everyday process. Every day, what is the position of the child? Like that it goes. Every scanning, you have to make payment. You have to do booking. You have to go and sit there in the hospital. Like that, we have made our life complicated because of the fear mechanism. Maybe 1 in 1,000 such problem can come, but you have to surrender it to God and live in the natural way. That is better than what we follow nowadays. My thought process. You have to think about it. I am living the thought process to you. I am just sharing my thought process. That's all. Because if you think and if you conclude only, the people will get a belief in doing Shoda Samskara. Simple, many Pandits, many learned people have given a lot of talk about the Samskara, but we don't find any improvement practically in the community, because people hearing it in 1 year and then it goes through another year. No one is giving time to think about it. So the delivery happens like that. After the child is born, after the child is born, what happens? The child attains, if you take the lady, girl child, the child attains nowadays puberty at the age of 5 or 6. Even I heard a UKG learning girl attain puberty, first standard. Those days it happens at the age of 12, 13, 15. Even I heard the older people saying the puberty happened at the age of 18 and all. Because the growth happens in the normal, natural way. Because of the exposure to the unwanted foods, the child is given all chocolates, all fast foods, then the pizza, so many things, which is all against what our Shastra says. All these are given to the children to make them satisfied. All junk foods, all fast foods, and also exposure to the TV, internet. All these makes their what you call the balance of the enzymes in their body. The enzymes are working very fast. They are exposed to something which they are not exposed to at that age. Instead of hearing the stories from Purana, instead of hearing the stories from our Shastras, Puranas, to have a Sattvic mind, to improve their thought process, to improve the memory, instead of going in that way, they are exposed to TV. They are seeing all those things which they are not supposed to see at their age. So because of the impact of that, the hormonal imbalances happen. The enzymes, hormones, everything work much speeder. The cell replication happens much faster. So the growth happens also very fast, because the growth is based on hormonal change also. So hormonal change, if happens very fast, then the puberty also will happen very fast. If you go to a school and see first standard or second standard child and mother, if the child has to wear a sari or something like that, both will look more or less similar, or maybe sister and brother, sister and sisters. So that is how the growth nowadays. So because of this, what happens? The diseases comes. The age decreases. Eyes getting decreases. Just we can see the example of the chicken. Actually, the chicken, if you understand the science, the chicken will take at least 3 years to become a full-grown hen. But they inject estrogen, so many kind of other these artificial things to make the cell grow faster. And in 3 months, the chicken will become the hen. And more, I also came to understand that these the fast-grown chickens die because of the heart attack, because the cell replication, everything happens fast. After a stage, there is no chance to get more replication, and it breaks. So the death will happen, and these chickens are taken for food. So in the same way, the cell replication in the human body also happens very fast due to the unwanted exposure for the children at the younger age to TV and all those. So as per some of our Shastras, the eyes or the age of a girl is around 6 times of the age on which she attains the puberty. So if one attains puberty at the age of 15, the age will be around 90 to 100 years. But if a girl attains puberty at the age of 5, there is a high risk to get some diseases like heart attack and all, and die at the age of 30, 35 or 40. Because there are references in Shastras where the eyes and the puberty age are directly dependent, and it's around 6 times of the age of the puberty. So this is how the community goes. Then if we take them for the education, of course, there is modern education. That is the only way where we have to depend for the education. It is an education totally for getting a good job, to go into a good profession, make money, get a earning lady for marriage, to get married, get a lady having a job, then enjoy the life, then what do you call, buy some flats or maybe car, not even a simple car. Everyone wants to sell the car and then buy a better one, taking loans and investing. Like the Americans, we live in the future. We don't live in the present. We always live in the future. What will happen after 10 years? We are getting prepared today itself, but we fail today. We think about the future and we are living. That future will come or doesn't come, nobody knows. See, there is a story in Mahabharata which is coming to in the Yakshaprashnam. The most surprising thing in one's life. This is one question to Yudhishthira. So he says, people believe that I am going to live for a long years. Though many deaths happen in front of us, we still believe we are going to live like 80 years, 90 years. Like that, we are still thinking. That is the biggest surprise, Adishya, in the world. That is what this answer is. We don't know whether we are going to live tomorrow or no. Now in the COVID condition, it is becoming more and more right. Nobody is, who is going to live tomorrow, nobody knows. So if we spend our life in the way our Shastra taught, definitely in the end of the life will be very in a very comfortable, satisfied way. So the children are sent to school, and that also, even myself learned in a government school here in Karamana. There is no much fee and all. A small fee is being paid. Till 10th standard, I only learned in the government school. Very good training and all. But nowadays, even people are not interested to send their children to government school. I don't know about the other states. I am talking about the situation in our Kerala state. Whoever learned with me, they are myself also. I was able to learn the software, everything, and was able to develop software, all those things. So even the government school education was very good. Nowadays, you have to send your children to private school only. For my son, I am paying around 20-25,000 per quarter as fee. So if you have 2 children, 50,000 you have to pay in a quarter for the fee. In Trivandrum, I don't know, in Mumbai and all, the fee will be high. In Trivandrum also, there are still higher fee, the schools with higher fee. There are, my son being, I want to follow our culture. He is learning in Chinmaya Vidyalaya. At least they will train in our way, how our culture is. If they are being sent to other schools, their culture will be of that way. I'm not going into that. So you have to earn a lot to teach the students, your children, and they don't have any inclination to any other thing. They don't have family attachment, family bonds, these kind of what you call the good qualities being never trained. Even very small amount of portions in the syllabus being taught on all these things. Every subject is related to some way of entering into some profession, like medical, engineering, chartered accountants, or maybe the other kind of professions, and make money. So their mind also is developing in that way. In Agrahara and all, in olden days, in one Agrahara house, 2-3 brothers jointly live. Will be a joint family. Everyone will be satisfied. Everyone will have contentment. Now, when I went to my relative's house in Dubai, there's a house like a palace, where each of his children need each child needs separate rooms. Separate. It's like living in a hotel. His house, after I see, I was also given a room like that. I felt like I was living in a 5-star hotel. They all come during the dinner, during the lunch. It's like that they live. Everybody goes to their room, closes their room. There will be TV, phone, everything. It will be like a 5-star hotel room. That is how the people live nowadays. So the entire culture have changed. So only making money and going behind money, building the big flats or buying the flats, mind is like that. So when they reaches the marriage age, marriage is becoming like a contract, because they only have the importance for money only. Money and other material benefits are only their aim. There is no value for anything else. Money, material benefits are the only benefits. So when the girl and boy talks before the marriage, all these things they talk. Nothing to do how to lead a satisfied family life. If a problem comes, how we solve. Nothing is been how the children should be, how they should be taught. Nothing will be discussed. They will discuss about their career. I want to become like this. I want to become like that. So how we have to live after the marriage also. So 10 sittings they discuss about the marriage. Many like separates in one sitting. For separation, one sitting is enough. For getting married, there will be 8 sessions, because they discuss nothing required for a satisfied, successful married life. Many kind of promises happens from both sides, because there is a biological need to get united. So at that time, because of that requirement, they will agree for everything. After the marriage of after 2-3 months, slowly the problem starts. There is no trust between. Even I become, it became wonder for me that the couples keep separate accounts. And even when a property is purchased, it will be purchased in both husband wife name, because it's not that something, if one die, it will go to other, not in that sense. If it's in that sense, okay, it is fine, but there is no trust between them. Just the marriages are like a contract, and now it has reached a stage even there is no marriage required, only living together. So many other things are there. I even have don't have much knowledge about it. So that is how the purpose of the life nobody knows. Only making money, living a luxurious life, and going weekend holidays, month-end holidays, yearly holidays, going to different destination, enjoy life. For these you need huge money. Then the next stage, and another point that is coming to my mind, so many things coming to my mind, I don't know, I am not I don't know what to say and what not to say, because so many things coming. When the marriage happens, there are different kind of marriage. Brahma vivaham, Prajapati vivaham, like that, Asha vivaham, different Gandharva vivaham. The marriages happening in Brahmin communities, Brahma vivaham, where the Kanyaka Danam is done. Like that, different kind of marriages are there. Rakshasa vivaham, Paishajika vivaham, like that. So now even it is, we call as the, in Brahmin vivaham, though it is the Kanyaka Danam, by mind, it is a contractual marriage only. Nothing happens as per our Shastra. Even some mantras simply being chanted, but even the boy even not chanting the mantra. Only 50% of the rituals are happening. That is not in the proper way, because the boy doesn't know how to chant mantra properly. Even many boys say, Vadya, you yourself chant. I just keep silent. So the girl become Vadya's wife, because Vadya are only chanting the mantra. So it is not happening. It's only a kind of drama happening. Dresses are being put, everything. It's like a cinema shoot. It is happening. The real fact, or the real purpose of that karma, the balam that is to be derived from the karma, that we are not getting. Even in Paliga, when we do Paliga, the 5 important Devada Avahanam is being done. That Dikpalaka Devadas, Brahma, Indran, Yaman, Varunan, Soman, all these Devadas Avahanam are done in Paliga. And the Paliga should grow. You have to keep it for 4 to 9 days, and then you have to do Nevedyam for all those things to get the complete result of the function you have done. Like how the growth happens, how the growth of the seeds happen in the Palige. Like that, the seed which I put, the karma which I done, that karma should get the karma bhalam properly. For that only this Palige, this is being done. But day of the marriage itself, the Palige is thrown away. The sweeper or the cleaner who comes, simply she takes it and throw out. That is happening. So all Devada Shabam will come into the couples. Instead of, see, we call Devada for their Anigraham, but only the Shabam is coming. So better if you don't have belief, if you don't know what is happening, do marriage in the normal way, without mantra and all. At least Devada Shabam doesn't happen. So these all contractual marriage only. The understanding Dharma Praja Samvartyartham is the Sankalpam for marriage, to get a Dharma Praja. Because why the marriage is included in Shodasha Samskara, because to get a next generation to learn Veda, to follow the Dharmika Anishtanas, and to get a boy child to carry out the Shraddha rituals and all. So, of course, the girl child also very important to do the Kannikadana. But the first child is expected as the boy child because he is the protector. Always, girl should be protected. So, the protector should come first. Then only what should be protected should come later. So, that is why the first, there is no prominence like the boy is important, girl is not important, not like that. For doing the Kannika Danam, it is considered as the highest Danam. Girl is required. So girl and boy are equally important. More important to boy because he is the protector. Like, because the girl needs the protection. The ladies need the protection. Ladies are like VIPs. It's not that we have a misunderstanding. Ladies are given the secondary importance to our community. It's not like that. They are VIPs. They need protection. That is why Pida Rakshadi Kaumare, Putro Bhartro Rakshadi Yavane. The father is protecting in the Kaumaram, in the childhood, in Bharta in the Yavana, Putran in the Vardhakyam. Nastri Swadandriya Marhadi means not this kind of independence. We should not think that she is like a slave, not like that. She needs protection. How a prime minister, chief minister, or a very, very important person needs the protection. They can't go independent anywhere like the others because they are very, very important. That way they need protection. So they don't have the independence of that level. That is what Manu said in this Smriti, but it is being wrongly interpreted by many people, unfortunately. That same Manu only said, Etra Naryastu Pujyande Ramande Patra Devada. Wherever the ladies are being wherever the pujas are being done to ladies, there the Devada presence will come. So Etra Naryastu Pujyande Ramande Tatra Devada. So that's how the Shastra says. So the marriage purpose itself is getting lost. It is like a contract. So it is like a Rakshasa Vivaham. Because in the Rakshasa Vivaham, the purpose is for the material benefits only. For the material success, for earning, for the wealth, it is intended only on that angle. So every marriage is becoming, every Brahma Vivaham or Prajapati Vivaham, any Vivaham is becoming the kind of a Rakshasa Vivaham or a Paishajika Vivaham. Even without the the liking of the girl, or forcefully doing the marriage. So as per the Shastra, the child born out of the Rakshasa Vivaham will be very, very selfish. They will have destructive tendencies. They work for their own improvement only. They don't have any helping tendency. They have a destructive thinking. They work everything for their selfish interest. That is how many children in the societies are seen nowadays. And if it is a Paishajika Vivaham where a girl is forcefully done or forcefully given in the marriage without her like, then it will become a Paishajikam. So the child born out of that girl will be doing destruction to the entire world. So that is how the Shastra says. So most of the marriages are Rakshasa Vivaham or the Paishajika Vivaham. So the children born were like that only. So that also when our samskara point of view is becoming a failure. Then if you after the marriage, then when the days go, when the parents gets old, like how the father went to a school to get admission, the same way the children are running to get a old age home to set their parents. Even the Brahmin community is thinking to building up the old age homes. The community leaders are analyzing, thinking to make more and more old age homes instead of spreading our samskara, instead of making the generations go in the right way. They are thinking to make the old age homes. That is going to become a demand in the coming future. So the children going to different old age homes to get a seat for their parents. So that is what is happening in the old age. So these parents, they already come in the modern way. They also need some kind of independence. They don't want to become the part of family. There are many, not I am saying everyone, they also want to keep away to lead a what you call a kind of a life. So they are also many are preferring the old age. So the family bonding, everything, the attachment, everything goes. So this is the position of our society. And if you go more deeper into it, there are many divorces, many remarriages. If the child fails to get proper marks or doesn't come up to the expectation, doing suicides. So the suicides among children, even in Brahmin community, suicides are getting increased. Even Vaidikas doing suicide. That is how the position of communities. So whether the culture which we are having, the culture of the culture in which only the material benefits being targeted, the culture where only the material success comes, whether that is the culture, that is the samskara really we need, we have to think about. See, there is a story coming to my mind of Mahesh Chandra Bose, who wrote the book Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was an IAS officer from Mumbai. He is going to Calcutta for a visit of Calcutta with his family. So one day he went to Dakshineshwar, where the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa stays, and meets Ramakrishna. After talking with him, he feels that he wants to be with Ramakrishna throughout the entire life. So Ramakrishna is, I am not going deep into that. Ramakrishna is asking him, are you married? So he said yes. So are you an educated person? He said yes. Are you knowledgeable? Are you a person of knowledge? He says yes. Okay. Then he is asking, is your wife knowledgeable? No, she is ignorant, he says. So Ramakrishna asking, what is knowledge? There is no sudden answer from Mahesh Chandra Bose. So Ramakrishna says, to know God is knowledge. To know God is knowledge, and not to know him is ignorance. So the education which we get only satisfies a portion of our life. So coming back to our Shastra. So I just analyzed a little bit of our society. Like, even if a few more points coming to my mind, I will finish that and then go into the Veda. If we analyze our community, especially the Brahmin community, most of the people doesn't have belief in the samskaras and all. They simply do the ritual, just being proud as a Brahmin. I am also a Brahmin. So just to show up the society, the 80% of the people are doing rituals in that way only. Even the Panjagacham, the other dresses, the Podavai, Umbadagajam, all those even you can buy. They are just buying the what you call the made one. simply as a dress. It is been purchased and they are using. They don't know how to wear the panchakacham or even the kodavai and all. That way it is going. It's just a show. So 80% of the rituals happens like that. And 10% better than the 80%, they thought this is not required. At least they keep their the personal integrity. So they are not even following that. Better than the 80% who just doing it as a show. The another 5 or 10% who really want to do that, they can't do properly because they are not getting proper acharyas. So many hindrances to make it happen. So this is how the community is. And when any problem comes, they go to an astrologer. So astrologer doesn't know any. What is astrology? People think that the Jyotisham is something which is to analyze our future, tell our future, whether I will get the job, whether I will get the marriage, whether I will get a good job, good wife, whether I can buy a flat, whether I will get a car. So this is nothing. This has nothing to do with the Vedanga Jyotisham. Vedanga Jyotisham is it is a shastra to analyze the time, Kala Nirnaya Shastra. That is for which the Jyotisha has come. How to do the rituals, when to do the rituals, which is the good time, which is the bad time. For that only the Vedanga Jyotisham have come. So people going into astrologers, they don't also know the Shastra. They simply learn some astrology books to tell the prediction. So even 2 days back also one of my friend called me to his friend son is going to get married. Nakshatra is Bharani. The girl's nakshatra is also Bharani. So actually there is Madhyama Rajju Dosham. So one astrologer is saying we can do Pariharam for this and get the marriage get done. 2 lakh rupees is asked. So actually as per our Shastra there is no matching required. So even if you believe that and follow the matching, once the Madhyama Rajju Dosham is there, then how can you do Pariharam for that? So even if you believe and follow that, then there is no Pariharam. As per strictly speaking, the match making and all came later only. In no Abhastambha Sutram or anywhere match, there are many lakshanas, qualities set for the Varan and Vadu that we will discuss later. So, but the marriage, this match, the horo matching is found nowhere. So the astrologers misguides our community. So who are all the people misguides? On the astrologers, on the bhakti people. They are all like favorable enemies. Anugula Shatru we call in Tamil. Astrologers, then the Advaita people. It is good for the lazy people to not to do any karma. Simply hear the Advaitins, what they say. There is only Atma remains, nothing is there. So they all throw away the karma. It is good for the lazy people because simply to hear, and then once you hear everything, you will forget everything. You can't follow anything if you just hear the Advaita speeches. And so the karmanishtanam is very important because chittasya shuddhaye karma, you for getting the chitta shuddhi, you have to do the Vaidika karmas. After that only, if the chitta shuddhi comes only, if you go to hear the Advaita, Vedanta, then only you will be able to understand jnana. Without the chitta shuddhi, you cannot attain the jnana or the knowledge. So that is not possible. You have to do the karma and then only you have to go for the jnana. Now there is not the karma of going to office and making money. That's not the karma. What the karma which Veda said, not the other karmas. They are not considered as karma for the chitta shuddhi. So you have to, so these astrologers, these bhakti people, this jnana people who just tells the Vedanta and all are actually the favorable enemies to stop the karmanishthana. So karmanishthana, or what the Shastra actually said, that we have to just analyze. So one thing we have to analyze and conclude is that with the modern education, with the good wealth and other material success, the life will become never happy. it is not enough. It is not the one thing which is required to make us happy. There are other factors also. So what our Shastra said, Dharmartha Kama Moksha. See, that is where the entire the problem happened to us. We totally rejected the dharma. We are only behind the English education and other education, other samskaras are only behind the artham and kama. Dharmam and moksham. Moksham is, if you do dharma, you will get moksha. So moksham is the ultimate objective. So dharmartha kama moksham. That is how the education should be. So when you start the education, first you should understand dharma. So what is dharma? From where only the samskara starts. So Vedo Agila Dharma Mulaha. To understand dharma, you have to understand Veda, because Veda is the only source for the dharma. No other books tells about the dharma. So how the Veda is not like the other religions. These religions which came before 2000 years, 1500 years back, 3000 years back, not like that. From the day of creation itself, the Veda is there. Even before the creation, Sabhuri Divyaharad, when a sound Bhu came, the Srishti of Bhumi happened. Sabhuvari Divyaharad, so Antariksham was created. Like that, Veda says from creation itself. Everything is there in Veda about all the kala, the karma kalapam, how the world is happening, how the srishti happened, how the climates happen, how the stars are moving in the atmosphere, regarding the sun, regarding the moon, regarding the seasons, everything, how to live, how the day and night happens, how the the animals, how the birds, everything live. So the entire world, how the world is functioning, from the Srishti itself, the Veda is saying. Also, how to live, it says. What is Dharma, Veda says. So everything we require is within Veda. Idihasti anyatra annehasti natakpujit. Whatever you want is there in Veda. Whatever you find outside is there in Veda. If it is not there, not in the Veda, then it will not be there in the outside. So it is a complete knowledge. In that, dharma is given the utmost importance. So Vaidigo Agila Dharma Mula. How the Veda came, it is Apurushayam, not written by anyone. It is actually, it was there in the atmosphere. By the power of the tabas, the rishis actually taken it from the atmosphere. By the power of their tabas, it came into their minds and they taken it outside. That is why it is called Shruti. It should be heard from the Guru, and then after hearing, it should be repeated. That is how it should be taught. It should be learned. So that is how the Veda came. It is Apurushayam. It is not written by someone, or there is not a starting point for the Vedas. So it is Apurushayam. So from Veda only we can understand the Dharma. Actually, 1 hour, 5 minutes gone, I think. So hope you will be able to spend some more time. I don't think it will get end in another 10 minutes time. So hopefully you will be able to spend some more time with me, another 15 minutes or so. Okay, so what is Dharma? That which gives you the ultimate satisfaction, ultimate happiness, ultimate prosperity, everlasting prosperity. It's not like for a temporary time, or it gives only a portion of your happiness. You will be happy partly and unhappy partly, not like that. It will give you the long-lasting, full-fledged happiness, prosperity, materially and spiritually. If you practice that, you will attain that. That is called the Dharma. That is the definition of dharma. See, if you take some food which you like very much, say taking some sweets, you keep on taking that. So you like it very much. You are enjoying it. You are happy at the time you take. After 2-3 hours, you are getting the stomach pain because you have taken it over. So it is started giving trouble. So what is hidam for you and what is priyam for you? It is different. Adhigam, in Malayalam we say adhigamayal amradavum visham. If you have something too much, it will turn poison. So if you, the material enjoyment, material success should be limited. Ultimate objective should be dharma. Within the dharma or not going against the dharma, you can attain all your material success, material, your wishes. That is why dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artham and kamam should be under the dharma. It should not be against the dharma. I am into a profession. I am making money like anything, but I don't have any time to do my sandhya vandanam, do my anushthanam. That kind of profession will definitely going to give sorrow in the long run, because you are moved away from the dharma. So keeping your dharma, how to balance the in the present days the dharma and artha kama. This is the subject. You should not, because nowadays to live you have to go for an earning. Definitely it is required. If you simply practice dharma alone, you for practicing the dharma itself you need money. See, now I am practicing the dharma. I am telling you what is dharma. You are all hearing. We need an internet connection. We need a place. I need a mobile phone. So many things are required. It all needs money. The electricity is running on, the internet connection is going on. Everything there is money. So to practice dharma itself, you need money. So you make money which is not against dharma, or which will not prevent you from practicing dharma. Such kind of artha kama is what we should look for. That kind of education is what we are supposed to give our next generation. That is why we have a plan to go for in the long run, maybe 2-3 years, we have to start a school where the modern education is also taught for your artha kama, but for the dharmam, the Veda and our Dharma Shastram and other 14 Vidya Sthanams should be taught. That is how we should plan, at least for the next generation. They should now in our class also the older people are learning. We are very happy that at the age of 65, 70, they are taking effort to learn Veda, but they are struggling very hard to learn. Even if we chant something, they are not able to grab it and repeat it. Even if they grab it, maybe due to the old age problem and all, the throat and all, they won't get control. So they are not able to get control over swaras. And so the right age should be at the age of 8. In Garbhashtamam, the Upanayam have to be done. And immediately the child should start learning Veda. If at that age, if they start learning, it will be very easy for them. Now, in our class also, the children are learning. They are learning very fast. Even one children without book, he was able to repeat what I say. But if the elders, even with the books, they cannot repeat properly because they don't have the concentration. Because of the age, it is not their problem. The Ayurveda says from the age of 8 to 16 is the best time to observe Veda, observe the things in the mind. So that is why it is the good age to mug up everything. Everything will go inside. Mind will be very fresh. Everything will be going inside and they can easily repeat it. When they reach 16, 17, 18, 20 and all, the absorption capacity decreases, analyzing capacity improves. So at the age of 50 and all, the analyzing capacity will be very much. But the absorption capacity, repeating it, following what somebody says, these will not be easy for them. They think everything in their own way and try to turn it in their way. So they can't follow what somebody says. So at the younger age itself, the children should go for the Vaidika education, where they should learn Vedas, and after an age they should learn Shastra, Dharma Shastra, everything which is at least minimal required to do the dharma anushtana, along with the education required to do a profession for earning. That is also important. So we have to balance this. So to have such, so dharma is the most important thing in the life. Without dharma, the human being is not at all a human being. Ahara nidra bhayam ayudhanam ja samanyamevat pashubharnaranam dharmo hi desham adhiko vishesham dharmasya hina pashubhis samana. Ahara nidra bhayam ayudhanam. All Sanskrit only. Aharam, food, nidra, sleep, then the fear, then the sex. These are all common for the animals also. Dharmo hi desham adhiko vishesham. That one which separates man from animals is the dharma bodha. The dharma bodha means that which separates man from the animal. So dharmo hi desha dharmasya hina pashubhis samana. Without dharma, one is equivalent to animal. Moreover, to have a peaceful, happy life, definitely dharma should be followed. Sugartha sarvaloganam maha sarva pravartet suganjana vinodharma tasmat dharma paro bhavet. Every human being works for the happiness. Suganjana vinodharma tasmat dharma paro bhavet. But without the dharma, you can't get the happiness. Suganjana vinod tasmat dharma paro bhavet. Hence, dharma is the ultimate thing. So you should follow dharma. If the dharma is not followed, even the richest man in the world is going to suffer on one day. That is why you can see many businessmen doing suicide. Some 5 months back, one of my friends' relative running a company in US. These all incidents happen, not story. Because of the COVID situation, the business all got down. One day he went near a river and just fall into that river, and he did suicide. So how to do that karma and all, he called and asked me. This happened in US from the Brahmin community. So the money doesn't give him the peace of mind. So this is what happened. Many people, many rich people doing, many businessmen doing the suicide and all. So many news are coming. So it's not the money alone. All businessmen are not doing suicide. You can ask a reverse question, but I am telling this on not on that basis, because if dharma is followed, even if you are not rich that much, even if your all material wishes are not fulfilled, still you can remain happy, you can lead a peaceful life. So dharma is very, very important. That you can do within dharma, not against dharma, is the ideal way to live, rather than neglecting the dharma and going behind the luxury, money and all is very dangerous. It may take you to a point where you have to end your life, or you have to end with different sufferings. It's like a kite flying very high. It has reached highest point, but if it gets disconnected from the base, the kite will fly, and it won't reach its destination. It will fall somewhere. Like that, those who neglected the dharma fly high in the material life. They will fly high, and one day we don't know where they are going to fall. But they are going to fall. That is more or less sure. So to understand dharma, to learn dharma, it is very, very important. Somebody went to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and asked, I want to become a great man. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, becoming man itself is a great achievement. Becoming man itself is a great enough achievement. That is what Ramakrishna said. So to become a man, to remain as a human being, you have to follow dharma. That is what its meaning is. So dharmo hi desham adhigo vishesham dharmasya hina pashabhis samana. That is why tasmat dharma paro bhavet. That is what the Upanishad said. Highest is dharma. Tasmat kama paro bhavet. Tasmat artha paro bhavet. Even tasmat moksha paro bhavet, Upanishad doesn't say. It only said tasmat dharma paro bhavet. So dharma is the highest. Everything in the world works based on dharma. Dharmo Vishwasya Jagata Pradishta. Even the world, everything, sun, moon, all the universal objects, even the God, everybody follows dharma only. So even the Upanishad in the second prashna, all this will come. Even the sun, moon, everything is fearing dharma, is something like that, it will come. So dharma is the highest. If dharma is followed, definitely you can attain the happiness in life. So to follow that dharma, to even corona and all, why the corona have come? It is because of adharma only. Somebody did adharma, the papa, the entire human race. Because of that papa, the entire human race is suffering. That is the one and only reason. If every Brahmin started doing the Nityakarma Anushtana, at least there are 5 crore Brahmins in India itself. That is what the statistics says. At least 10% or even 1% started doing 1000 Gayatri a day. Definitely a change will come. So that is very, very important because nobody is doing the Anushtanam. So somebody did the papa. Shastra says even one person did a pava, it will go into the community. But if one person did the punya, it won't share with others. Why it is like that? Because somebody did pava, he is doing pava, somebody is just seeing it. Somebody is just keeping quiet. Somebody is just neglecting it. So all these people are also becoming a part of that pava because they are allowed it. They are silent towards it. That is why Raja, Dharmiko, Raja, the king should follow dharma. If he doesn't follow dharma, it will affect the entire country itself. So the paba done by somebody will affect the entire society. So that is the reason for even the corona. So dharma should be followed. So to follow that dharma, we need the Shodasha Samskara. The samskara, the culture which should be imparted in the human being to have a mind where the mind will stick to dharma. The mind will give maximum importance to dharma. For that, the Shodasha Samskara is required. It is part of dharma itself. Shodasha Samskara itself is the part of dharma. So to have a thought, to lead a dharmika life, the Shodasha Samskara should be followed. Samskara is, what is the meaning of samskara? There are 16, Shodasha Samskara means 16 samskaras. There are 40 samskaras. Out of that, 16 is compulsory. You can start from the Garbhadanam, you can start, or from the Jatakarma, you can start, or even from the marriage, you can start. The 3 are the starting point because from after the marriage only, the Garbhadanam is going to come. So the point to have Garbhadanam is marriage. So Ekagni Kandam, which have the complete mantras of the Shodasha Samskara, starts with Kalyana Mantra, Prasuk Mandadhiya. Like that it starts. So you can say marriage, then you can say Garbhadanam, because it is the point where the child, the possibility of the child growth, the child to born happens at the time of Garbhadanam. So it starts from Garbhadanam, or maybe the child comes outside. So it is the Jatakarma. So maybe if you start from Garbhadanam, say, I take in between, because that side Kalyanam, this side Jatakarma. If we start from Garbhadanam, Jatakarma, then Nishkramanam, Annaprasanam, Chaulam, then the Ashtabradam, Samavartanam, Kalyanam, and Andeshti. These are the 16 samskaras, which one at least the Brahmin should, for entire Hindu community, the samskara is there, but not all the samskaras. In that, there are some, like the Vidyabhyasam, then there are some other samskaras also, but these 16 samskaras, there are 40 samskaras. Out of that, the 16 is compulsory, where it starts from the Garbhadanam. Let us say, start from Garbhadanam. Okay, what is this samskara? Why the samskara is done? Samskara is actually the qualities. It is the adding of good qualities and removing of the negative qualities. That is called the samskaras. You have to add a good, see, in any material if you take, you can add the, any material you take and do a process, samskaram will be done. Even if we say in the worldly way, we take baths. For the cleaning, we take baths. After bath only, you are putting powders and everything. So first the removal of dirt, then adding of the good. That is what the meaning of samskara is. Same way, even if you take, if you are going to do a jackfruit halwa, you have to bring in Kerala, jackfruit halwa is very, chakavarati we call. So jackfruit halwa is very famous. You have to bring that jackfruit. You can't make halwa like that. You have to remove the unwanted portion. So removal of the negatives. Then you will get the inner fruit. You have to even remove the nut also. So nut, there is a layer over that fruit. All those will be removed. Only the fruit will be taken. Then you have to put that fruit in the jaggery and all, and to make it more perfect. Addition of goods, you will add cardamom, so many things to. So like that, the samskaras, everything we do, there is a samskara. So for a child born also, we have to do samskarams for its health as well as for its mental health. More than the physical health, mental health is very important, because maneva manishyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The reason, the most important thing, why he is called man, because he has got a mind. Maneva manishyanam. So the mind is the reason for the bandhanam and moksha. When you do more and more papa, you will get into bandham. When you do more and more punya, you will get into, slowly you will go towards the moksha. So there is two things, punya and papa. So to remove the dirt of the mind is one very important process which we do in samskara. Do you think that is required? Because the mind, we can't see it. It is a group of thoughts, that is the mind. How the thoughts functions, based on the Purva Janma, Papa and Punya only, our thoughts are functioning. So if we do a lot of Papa in the Punya Karma, thoughts will go in the wrong way. So to certain extent, not 100%, we can do the samskara. If you get a very bad thing, you can clean it, and you can't make it 100% perfect, but you can remove a lot of dirt from it, which is actually very good. So samskara is actually the removal of dirt, removal of paba from the mind, removal of doshas from a born child, or even before being born, at the time of what you call the garbhadhanam itself, removing of all the negatives and adding of all the good qualities. That is what is called samskara. So if the samskara, if you analyze, till the Upaнаyanam, it is the removal of all negatives. After the Upaнаyanam, in the Upaнаyanam, it is actually adding of the good qualities. So if the samskaras are not properly done, the mind will not function in the right way. So the child will never have an inclination towards dharma, shastra and all. It's only the inclination is for towards the worldly pleasures only. More than that, without doing the samskaras, the child is facing many diseases. That is also we can see in the society now. Olden days, autism, many different diseases which we are seeing nowadays, we can't see in the olden days. This is because the samskaras are not properly done. So for the physical well-being, for the mental well-being, for the physical wellness, mental wellness, physical good physical body development, as well as for the mental stability and mental what you call peace, you have to do the Shodasha Samskara. The Shodasha Samskara is done, definitely the child will get a good culture. The thinking and all will go in the dharmika way. So we have to do that. So regarding just, I think I will complete it in another 5 or 10 minutes, just will give something about the, so I think, hope you have understood what the, why the Shodasha Samskara is done, what is the purpose of Shodasha Samskara and all. So how we will be doing the samskara? For doing the samskara, one important thing is the lifestyle one have to follow. The lifestyle is very important. See, Brahme Muhurte Uttishte, you have to get up in the Brahma Muhurta and have to take a bath before the sun rises, because before the sun rises, the water will have the reflection of moon in the night. So the water will have certain qualities which the water acquires from the light of the moon. When the sunrises happens, that quality will go away. If you do this snanam in the Brahma Muhurtam, before the Brahma Muhurtam is one Muhurtam previous to the sunrise. That is the time 1.5 hours before the sunrise rise till the 45 minutes before the sunrise. That is called the Brahma Muhurtam. So in the Brahma Muhurtam, if you wake up and do snanam before the sunrise, you will get the advantage of the water, and it will give a lot of what you call the special effect to your mind, calming the minds, calmness of the minds. The many qualities of the mind you can achieve by taking a bath during the early morning before the sunrise. Like that, you have to, like that, Shastras is so many lifestyles. I just gave an example. So one is the lifestyle. Then another is for doing the samskara, and the time is very important. As I said, the Jyotisham is indicating the good time and bad time with the help of Panchangam. Tidivara Nakshatra Yoga Karana is very important. So you have to do that samskaram in the right time, then only it will have the impact. Then there will be some kriyas for which you use some kind of different fruits, or maybe some kind of vegetable, some special things you can use for that particular samskara. Then the most important part is the application of mantra, because mantra is very powerful. With the mantra only, you will be able to, that which protects. Mantra, the meaning itself is that which protect you is mantra. So whatever the things which is not possible by the human effort, you can achieve it by the prayers, by the intervention of Devadas, you can achieve that. So that is why Veda tells about the mantras of Devada. So you will activate a Devada, you will get the Anigraham of Devada and get your things done. Whatever is not possible for you, like in the star competition and all, different kind of what you call calling a person to help, like that in the competitions and all we are seeing, in the quiz competition and all we are seeing. Same way, if we can't achieve something by our own efforts, then you have to activate the Devadas. You have to recite the Veda mantras. By the power of Veda mantra, the Anigraham of Devada will come, and your pavam, your pabas will be removed from your mind. So with the help of mantra and Devada, with the help of the time, selecting a good time and following a good lifestyle, you have to do the samskara. So I will, in the other classes, I will go a little bit more about the Devadas and all, because so the samskaram, I will give something about the, so about this Garbhadanam little bit, and so that you will understand a bit about the samskara. Garbhadanam, nowadays, when the Garbhadanam is happening at the day of marriage itself, the Garbhadana Muhurtam is fixed. Actually, as per Shastra, it should not be done. Two Shodasha karmas should not be done simultaneously on a day. So actually, in olden days, it will be done after the 4 days or 5 days. They will be fixing a Muhurtam for that. And then it is like, see, the Garbhadanam is the most important thing, where on the Supraja, to get a Supraja, the first act is the Garbhadana. So it is like a yagam. It should not be done on a hotel, going to a 5-star hotel, enjoying for the going for the honeymoon and all, and becoming pregnant at that time is not the right way. Or maybe even going outside somewhere it's not the right way. It is a Vaidika karma actually. Even for all the Hindu community, the Garbhadanam is very important because getting a Supraja is important for everyone. So Garbhadanam, you have to find a Garbhadana Muhurtam, and the union should happen on the second yamam of the day. There are 4 yamams of 3 hours. So you have to make it done after 3 hours after the sunset is the time for the union of the husband and wife for becoming for doing the Garbhadana. So the time is there. You have to find the Muhurtam, Nakshatram, Tithi and all. And also after the menses period, from the 4th day to 16th day, it is the time for the union to get the good praja. So on the even days, if the union is done, you will get a male child. On the odd days, the union is done, you will get a female child. That is what the Shastra says. So 4th day to 16th day. And the state of mind is very important. So you have to take very sattvic food. Even before, see, the food plays a very important role. The last part of the food is becoming the minds. Ahara Shuddhihi, Sapta Shuddhihi. If you take the good food, then everything will become Shuddha. So you have to take the good food, sattvic food. That is why on the day of marriage, on the day of Garbhadanam in the night, now it is been happening on the marriage day itself. In the Brahma Vivaham and all, the milk rice is given. So the milk rice, the milk will make the mind very sattvic. So the child born will be of Brahminical nature. That is why the milk is given. That is why on the day of Garbhadanam in the night, the milk rice is given. So like that, the food plays a very important role. So before some 7 days at least, you have to the food you take, the result will come on the 4th day. See, if you just take on the Amavasi day, why you do fasting on the Ekadashi? Because on the Amavasi day, the mind will be very disturbed. It is the power of the moon will be very less. So the power of the mind will be very less. So if you do the this thing on the Ekadashi day, if you do Ekadashi Vratam, then if you don't take food on the Ekadashi, on the Amavasi day, you can remain perfect without much the problem for your mind. So like that, you have to control your food for Garbhadanam. At least before 7 days, you have to control, you have to take only the sattvic food and all, as well as the state of mind when the union happens. In the Mahabharata, there is a story of Ambika Ambaliga. Vyasa came to give Garbhadanam to them. I am not going into story, we don't have much time. So Vyasa come to give Garbhadanam to Amba, Ambika and Ambaliga. They thought like a young man is going to come and all. After seeing Vyasa with long beard and all, they don't like him mentally. So what happened? When the Garbhadanam happened, one closed the eyes. So Dhritarashtra was born. Another, what happened? Another one doesn't like Vyasa, his body and all. So that is why the Pandu was, since she doesn't like his body, her mind was something unsatisfied with the body of the Vyasa. The Pandu was born with all that Pandu disease. Then the third one accepted, since it is Vyasa, she thought about how great the Vyasa is. She only thought about his knowledge, his spirituality and all. So the Vidura was born. So at the time, how the mind is, the time of union happens, how the mind is, child born will be also like that. So that is why the mind should be very calm, should be very happy. So in the olden days, when Brahmins do the Garbhadana Muhurtam, the Pradama Arthava Shanti will be done. I will explain that and all later. Then after that, all that the music will be there. when the union happens outside, the songs will be, somebody will be singing the songs. On those days, there is no tape recorder and all, or maybe the TV. So songs will be done. There will be lamps will be lights. Pictures of God will be there. All that good smells will be coming in the room. So in all way, it will be a very sattvic atmosphere where the union will happen. So the Supraja will be born. So that is how the Garbhadanam is. So from the Garbhadanam itself, one should follow the samskara. There are many mantras also chanted. In case of Brahmins, the samskaram is there for all Hindu community. But in case of Brahmins, since that child is born for the dharma pracharanam, extra responsibility is there. So the Brahmin child should be more pure, much purer than the other child. So the mantras will be chanted. The prayers to the different gods. Garbhandehi Sanivali, Garbhandehi Saraswati. So praying to moon, praying to Saraswati, praying to different goddess to have the good garbha, to get a good child. So in that way, at the time of Garbhadanam, the husband will touch the stomach of the wife and chant all mantras. Then only they will go for that. So this is the way the Garbhadanam is done. So like that, we should understand each samskaras, how it should be done to get a Supraja. We get the Supraja only, they will do the Dharmanisthana, and then only the objective of the human life will be attained. Jundunam Narajanma Durlabham, said Adi Shankara. We don't know whether we will get another human life. We say in Sankalpa, Anadya Vidya Vasanya Pravartamane Asmin Samsara Chakre, Vijitravik Vijitrasu Pashvakshi Mragadi Yonishu, Anekata Pinapanaha Janitwa, Enavi Punyakarma Visheshana, Idanindana Manishe, Dujanma Vishesham Praptavataha. So we have born as animals, birds in so many janmas, and because of some great punya, unknown punya, I have attained the human birth. So we don't know whether we will get a human birth. So the ultimate objective of the human birth is to get moksha. So for that you have to follow the dharma. So dharma is the highest. So to get to have a dharmic life, to follow dharma, to have a faith in dharma, one have to do the Shodasha Samskara. So by this I am ending this session. Sorry that I have taken little bit more time. I couldn't able to finish within the time. Sorry about that. So if you have any questions, maybe we can go into that for some few minutes and then we will end this session. Okay. Yeah, you have any queries? We can answer in 5 minutes or so, and then we can close this session. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you for the participants. Thanks.
Ram Ram.
Okay, thank you.
Namaskaram.
Dhanyavad Swami.
Namaskaram.